Hello, my name is Alex Gonzalez-Vinas, and I am an IT expert specializing in your everyday technology needs. I help thousands of people find information in a keystroke. I am the hybrid between technology and business, and I am a programmer who speaks English, Spanish, and PHP. I have 6 years experience in the work field, developing and maintaining web servers and websites. Today I'm going to show you a video of how to install a Ubuntu web server and PHP. Thank you. So the first thing we want to do is we want to go to ubuntu.com to download the latest version or the most stable version. So we go to www.ubuntu.com and you'll see the website here, and we want to go to the download part here. And like I said, we want to download the latest version, which is 8.04. It's this one. Download will probably take about 25 minutes. Once it's done downloading, you're going to burn it onto a CD. Once you burn it onto a CD, you're going to install it onto your operating system or computer of choice. The installing, as you see, I've already started it here. It takes about 25 minutes also. So we're going to let this install. Alright, so once you finish installing Ubuntu, it should come up with a screen like this. Now I'm running in VMware, so it looks a little bit different, but it should basically look like this. Now the first thing we're going to do is get those extra packages. So we're going to go to System, Administration, and Synaptic Package Manager. It's going to ask you to enter in your password. If you created a password, just enter it in. If you didn't, leave it blank. And we're going to search for our packages. The first one we need is Apache 2. That is our web server. So we need to get that first. It's going to search for it, and you'll see it right here. You can mark it for installation. I already have it installed, so we can just mark for reinstallation. Due to the extensive nature of this video, I can only go through one of the search processes. However, you are also going to need MySQL client and MySQL server, PHP 5, PHP GD, PHP MySQL, PHP MyAdmin, and SSH. Those are things you're going to need to search for and install. All the packages that we needed. The next thing we want to do is put a fixed IP address on our server. So we're going to come here to the 2 network computers on Ubuntu, and we're going to go manual config. Click our wired connection, go properties, disable this, and put in our fixed IP address 10.1.10. Oh, I messed up there. 10.1.10.22. Our subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. Our gateway is 10.1.10.1. Now I have to mention that these settings are different for each network that you're on. Some of them might be usually 192.168.x.x, and in our case it's 10.1.10. They're really almost the same thing, it's just different IP address. So we're just gonna hit OK, close this out, test out our Apache server, see if it's working. We can go here to localhost, put that in, and if it says it works, we know Apache is working. So we're gonna go ahead and close it out, and now we know that Apache is working. Now I'd also like to test out our SSH to make sure it's working. So I just minimized Ubuntu there, and I'm going to come to the terminal here in Apple. And this is the same as command prompt in Windows, or basically the same thing. Type in SSH, Alex at our IP address, which is 10.1.10.22. Password. And it should log you in, no problem. And if you give your server a domain name, this is what it appear here. It's Alex Ivan Data, or the domain name that you gave it. So really quick, we're going to do an ls, which is just listing the current directory that you're in. And this is the current directory that I'm in. And we're going to go back a few spaces to get to our web server. Our web server is in the var folder. So we have to go back 2 spaces, we'll do an ls, and we'll see the var folder right here. So we're going to cd into var, do another ls, and we have to get into our www folder, which is our web server folder. So cd www, do an ls, and we're going to test our PHP. So we'll do a sample PHP file here. We're going to sudo has administrative privileges to create this file, and we're going to call it, so we're going to do it with Vim. Now you can use Vim, gedit. Gedit is just a graphical interface, or you can use VI. Both of them work equally. I prefer Vim. I think it's the best out of all of them. You can use whichever one you want. So we're going to call sudo vim.test2.php, and we'll see here that we're creating a file, and we have to insert in order to write into our file. So we click I on the keyboard, and it'll come down here, and this will change to insert, and now in insert mode, and you can type into this command prompt here. So we're going to create a sample PHP file here. We're going to create a variable, and we're just going to call it test, and we're going to give it the value of hello world. And then we're going to echo that variable so we can see it on the screen. And so we have to hit escape to exit out of the command prompt, and :WQ writes and saves it, and then quits out of it at the same time. And it'll dump us back here. So we're going to come here to our web browser. We're going to test it out, see if that works. 10.10.22/test2.php. I think I put too many 10s there. There we go. And we see it worked. It says hello world 10.1. It's our IP address of the server, and it says hello world. So we know our PHP is working. So the next thing we want to test is our phpMyAdmin. So that's working well, and our username is root, and the password, whichever one you created. If you didn't put a password, it would be blank. Okay, then we're in, and I've created a couple other databases here, but if you want to create a new database, it's very easy. You just go to create database, just over here, and you create a new database down there, and you just give the new database a name and hit create. So once we're done doing that, we can exit out of it, and we see everything's working. Let's close out of this. Let's go back to our Ubuntu server. Ubuntu server is here. Now, I've given you the basics of setting up a web server. Obviously, this is not a secure web server. There's several more steps you have to go through securing your web server and disabling root accounts, setting up mods for Drupal, enabling rewrites is another thing you also need for Drupal. There's many other things that you can go on your server to make it secure and more dynamic, but for the basics of this video, I've taught you how to set up a Ubuntu server. Thank you for watching.